Good morning, everyone. How are you? Welcome to our Thursday morning yoga zone. This is Annie from Eat Move Milwaukee. Welcome to my home studio. So today we have an interesting practice for you. This is building up to crow pose. Some of you may be familiar with crow, some of you may not. I can actually show you what we may be building up to today before we start going there. So a few disclaimers. Before we begin, and if I didn't already say it, thank you Milwaukee Rec Department for keeping us together. If today is the first day that you ever heard of the phrase crow pose in yoga, then I would suggest that you take this take it very slowly. I think everyone should take it very slowly, but if you've never heard of crow before, maybe not going into the full expression of this posture, but stay with us for this practice, because even if you don't build up to the ultimate pose at the end, this can still be a solid practice for you with what we're going to do to get into some of the feelings of being in crow, the stretches required to move into that position. So just know that even if you're hearing this and you're going, oh my gosh, crow, no, I'm out of here, stay with us, enjoy the practice, and then if you want to choose that pose at the end to have that full expression of it, you can certainly go there. So especially since we're online and I'm not able to see you all and spot, I don't want to put anyone at risk ever, but especially not with some of these more advanced postures. So just know that if you have doubts about your safety in your space, please opt out, or less is more. That being said, if you haven't ever seen crow, you might be wondering, what in the world are we going to do? So I'll show you. Be safe. Find your edge if you want, but also don't do something to harm yourself. You don't need to be a hero. Maybe you just want to kind of hang out and watch this one today and see. But join us as you can. So to show you a full expression of crow, and this is just forward crow. There's also variations of side crow. But to show you a regular crow pose, and again, we're going to build up step by step. So that's where we're going to end up today if you want to join us, okay? So again, don't let that discourage you. Some of you, again, I know are familiar with it, so you may be excited to try it again. So we'll start here. So I do recommend having some blocks nearby. We're probably not going to need the strap so much today, but you might benefit from having a block, even for your head with crow. I know when I was first working on crow a couple of years ago, and by the way, it may take a while to get there, building up seconds by seconds, each day or each week is helpful. But I got stuck in it and I had to call for help. I had to call my daughter for help. Because if I went forward, I was going to flip onto a couch, and if I went back, anyway, I got stuck. So make sure that you have some support. If you're going to land, you might land your head on a block. Anyway, so we'll take it from there. Good morning. All right, we're going to start in an easy pose here. Easy pose being Sukhasana. Easy is the actual name of it. I'm not saying that because I expect it to feel easy for anyone. It's just the actual name of this yoga pose. So I'm sitting on a block in order to open up those hips a little bit more and start to find that tall spine. Reaching up out of those hips, placing those hands on the knees or in the lap. You could close the eyes if you wish, or take a soft gaze towards the floor. Start to settle in. Just checking the sound again. And start to observe your breath. Just notice that in and out flow. Not trying to change it, just noticing. I invite you to set your intention for this practice. What do you need at this point in your week? And then when you have that intention set, we'll move into our first pranayama, our first mindful breathing exercise. I invite you to place those hands on your belly. Draw the shoulders up, back and down. We'll take our 4-7-8 breath. This can help to move through anxiety, depression, insomnia. Could even lower the blood pressure, find calm. Take an in-breath through the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go through the mouth as if you're blowing out through a straw. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it in again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take one more round of 4-7-8 at your own pace. And slowly remove any props from underneath, keeping them close again as needed. Just find some movement through that spine, through the hips. And we'll start to move through the spine, warming it up. Take a breath in, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Root those sit bones down. Inhale up. Circle the arms back, plant those hands. Shine the heart forward. Release. Inhale up again. Exhale, take it to the right. Rooting through that left sit bone. Open up the chest. Inhale again. Exhale to the other side. And back up. Let's take a twist to the right. Find length in the spine. And exhale as you deepen the twist. Inhale again. Exhale to the other side. Find more length on that inhale. And exhale, release. Back to center and shake it out. And we'll just move through the neck a little bit. Take that neck or that head down to the left. And then inhale back to center, exhale over to the right. Inhale back to center. Let's take it down to the chest. Inhale up and exhale, look up to the sky. Reach the chin up, stretch the neck. One more round. Take it over to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale forward. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up. And exhale it back. And back to center. Take any other movements with the neck that would feel right for you. So we're going to slowly bring these legs out. Just start stretching out the hamstrings a little bit. So give those legs a tap. If you want to use a strap, you could place it around the balls of the feet. Otherwise, just lift up out of the hips. Take a breath in. And then exhale, start to fold here. Take another breath in. Lengthen that spine. Reach the crown of the head out. Exhale, release. Inhale it back up. And exhale, we'll bring that left knee into the chest. And then just gently drop that knee down. You could snuggle that foot into the upper thigh. And maybe just start to press this knee open. Or press the knee down, opening the hip. Find length again as we breathe in. And then exhale, release, fold. Inhale, come up. And we'll take that knee back up. Make a little basket underneath that foot or use your strap. Find length in the spine again as you breathe in. And exhale, release through that heel. Bring it all the way down and slide it out. Take another breath in. Exhale, this time bring the right knee in. We'll place it down, let that knee drop. You can press it open. Take a breath in. And exhale, fold over that long leg. Inhale up. And exhale, float that hand down. Make that little basket underneath the right foot. Find length in the spine as you breathe in. And exhale, send that heel out. And slowly bring that leg down. We'll leave that leg here and draw the other one in, bringing the soles of the feet together for Vadakanasana or bound angle pose. Take a breath in, find length, and exhale, fold over those legs. Draw the navel into the spine as you fold over the legs. And come all the way back up. We'll just fold those knees together. Make your way onto your hands and knees. We're going to move into cat-cow here and start to, as we move through some of these poses that are no doubt familiar to you if you've practiced with us for a while, we're going to focus on what parts of those postures will help us in our crow pose. So again, if you're not even planning to go into that final crow, just enjoy this practice. All right, wrists, elbows, and shoulders are stacked. Those hips are over the knees. We draw the navel into the spine, but then relax that back so it's flat. And then move through our cat-cow. So as we take our first inhale, we dip that belly down. Take the gaze forward, press the floor away, protracting those shoulder blades. As you exhale, really draw that navel in. We're going to use this movement here in crow, this arching of the back in this way. So really draw that navel in. See how that feels with these hands planted, pulling up through that midsection. And then inhale again into cow. Into cow. Sometimes I reverse them in my mind. And then pull up into cat again. Tuck that navel way in. Send that spine to the sky. Press the floor away. Take one more round. Inhaling here. And exhale. Now I give you another challenge. We're going to, as we move through this cat-cow, we're going to draw a knee in on the inhale, and then as we exhale, we're going to send it up. So again, noticing how that feels to really crunch into that ball, which will help us in our crow pose. So take that breath in, bring it all the way in, and then reach it up, expand. Take 3 of those. One more round. And all the way back down. We'll take it to the other side. And I've told you the opposite inhalation, exhalation pattern. So as we contract, we typically exhale. As we expand, we typically inhale. So take a breath in, and then exhale, draw that knee in, and inhale, expand. I got ahead of myself. My apologies. One more here. Really draw that knee into the chest. Feel that rounding of the back and that strong core. And let that go. We're going to take ourselves back to child's pose and just lengthen the spine there. Just draw those hips back to the heels. Notice that breath. Bring the crown of the head forward and that tailbone back. From here, we're going to move into our first downward facing dog. So just shift forward, plant those toes, hands are ahead of the shoulders, and we start to move through this down dog. So just find some general movement here. Just pedaling it out, starting to stretch out those legs a little more, press those heels to the earth. You might bend the knees. And start to gently take a walk up towards the top of your mat. And let yourself hang here in ragdoll. You can shake out the arms, move from side to side. Let any thoughts, any negative thoughts just drop out of the top of your head. Any doubts that you may have, just let that go. And then we're slowly going to roll up to standing. So again, focusing on that core and rounding that back. See if you can draw yourself up with that core. You could let the arms hang here. Rounding out that back. Slowly, slowly restacking those bones. Really draw that in. Feels so strong here. Roll those shoulders back. Maybe you let those arms reach up, following the rotation of those shoulders. And exhale, hands to the heart. Finding that mountain pose. We'll practice our Ujjayi breath here. This is our Oceanic Breath. Some people call it the Darth Vader breath. Just moving into this second pranayama, you can let those hands drop down to your sides. So taking this in through the nose and out through the nose. As we exhale, there's a slight constriction of the throat. Let that air pass over the back of the throat. I always think of it as steaming up a little mirror at the back of the throat. So take a breath in and let it go. One more round. Release. And then move back to the top of your mat. From here, we'll start to dive down. Inhale up and send it all the way down. Lift up halfway. And then exhale, fold. Plant those hands. Step back into a plank. So from this plank, if you can find that high plank, try to purposely rock back and forth, noticing what that feels like, to put some weight into those wrists and even draw those wrists, to move those wrists a little bit. So rocking onto the toes, explore that compressing and opening of those wrists while they're holding our weight, because as we move into crow, we're going to be shifted a little bit ahead like this. So notice what that feels like. So if you have weak wrists and you're not planning to take crow today, just stay right here in plank, or whatever version of plank you want. Maybe you have knees, maybe you have forearms. So I will try to offer you the modifications for enjoying this as an asana practice without this build up. All right, so from here then we're going to shift forward and lower down. And inhale up into cobra. Exhale, release. Take a couple more in-breaths, raising up, really getting a good back bend there. We've been folding forward quite intensely, bringing that navel in. So see what it feels to really counter that forward fold. You might even take an up dog, bringing those knees off the earth, your choice. And slowly release. We'll tuck those toes and bring the hips high to downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Press that heart back to the thighs. And then we'll bring that right leg to the sky. Inhale and exhale as you tuck it into the chest. See if you can come up on that back toe. So I'm going to adjust a little bit. Bring that knee way into the chest. Come up onto that back toe. Press to that down dog again. And then we'll bring that knee in. You can take it all the way up to the sky or just draw it in. But come up on that back toe. Press into the earth. Bring it in to the chest. And back. One more time. And back. Press back into that downward facing dog. We'll bend the knees, look towards the hands, step with the right foot leading to the top of the mat. Just enjoy this forward fold for a moment. And then we'll lift halfway. Exhale, release. And then come all the way back up. And hands to heart center. We'll take that on the other side. Inhale up. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant those hands, step back into plank once again. And if you're going to be joining us in crow later, you might also, again, find that shifting back and forth on the wrists here. Take another breath in, and then lower down, however you'd like. Inhale, lift up. Really bend that back. Breathe in and out here in cobra. And then when you're ready, we'll send those hips high again for downward facing dog. So you could take that left leg high and then bring it into the chest, coming way up on that toe. Let's come back to down dog. Draw that knee in again, come up on that back toe, press into the hands, and all the way back. One more time. Really draw it in. Draw that knee high, all the way up to the chest. Bring the navel in, and all the way back. We'll bend those knees, and step that right foot forward here into our low lunge. If you want, you can pass through that low lunge, or take it straight into that high lunge, and then we're going to cartwheel around to our warrior two. I'm going to turn to the other side so you can see me. So really press into that front foot. Make sure that that knee, which is over the ankle, is tracking towards those pinky toes. Back foot can be on an angle or straight towards the long side of your mat. Heel and arch are in alignment. Bring those arms parallel to the earth. And see if you can ignite those back inner leg muscles. So in here, we're going to use those as well for crow. And if you're not joining us there, just enjoy this posture. Maybe starting to ignite some courage as we move into our final pose. And then we'll straighten that front leg and start to slide those arms towards the front foot. Extending here and then shifting into our triangle pose. So again, think about that inner thigh, both inner thighs here as we move through this posture. Keep that breath moving. And we'll move back to that warrior two. So from here, we're going to give a little step and move to forward fold. So let yourself hang. Again, let those negative thoughts dump out of the top of your head. From here, we're going to send those hips down into chair. So from chair, we sink those hips back, tuck the tailbone, uncurl or unbend that back. So if you have an arch in the lower back, bring it in. We want to be able to see those toes in front of the knees. Breathing here. And then we'll fold forward again. This time take those hands behind the back. Press those knuckles to the sky, or maybe you have your elbows and you're pressing them up. Put a little bit of bend in those knees. And just fold forward. This is technically called peddler's pose. Folding here. Again, bring that navel up towards the spine. Maybe you're starting to see a pattern with how we're working into the core here. That core is going to be really important with crow. So from here, if you want to go deeper, you could start to soften those legs and go up onto the toes. Balancing in this inversion. Press those arms overhead. Slowly release, let the arms go. And we'll find that chair once again. So untuck, keep saying untuck. Uncurl that spine, tuck the tailbone, uncurve that back. And you might go up onto the toes. And release. Come all the way back up. I'm going to head to the top of the mat on this side. Take another breath in. Dive down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Let's step back once again. And then shift forward, lower down. Inhale up into cobra. Exhale, release. Tuck those toes. Downward facing dog. And we'll lift that left leg up in breath. Exhale, find that lunge, high or low here, and then we'll cartwheel into that warrior two on the other side. So again, get that heel and arch aligned. Those hips are more to the side, bring those arms up. And try to direct that left knee towards the pinky toe. Drop shoulders away from the ears. Then we'll start to straighten that front leg. Extend here. And when you're ready, tip into triangle pose. So think about igniting the strength in those inner thigh muscles, both sides. Back to that warrior two. And then we're going to step to the top of the mat and take that fold into Uttanasana. Just let yourself hang here. And then we'll move up to our chair pose. So again, sink the hips, tuck the tailbone. I said it right this time finally, so take that curve out of the lower back. Find that steadiness here. And then we'll fold forward again. Bring those hands behind the back. Press those knuckles up to the sky. See if you can bring those hands way over, like they're going to come all the way down to the earth. And maybe you go up on the toes. Breathe. Bring those heels down, send yourself back to chair pose. And maybe you go up onto the toes here. And take that forward fold again. We'll lift halfway, fold again, and come all the way back up. Bring those hands to heart center and just take a pause there in mountain pose. Just feel where you are. Notice that breath. We'll take another sweep up. Exhale down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. This time we're going to bend those knees and see if you can head all the way down, maybe guiding yourself down, and find your boat pose. So sudden transition there perhaps. Bring those shoulders back. Again, draw that navel into the spine. There is a part of this posture that resembles crow. Maybe you can see how it's sort of a different orientation of crow. It would be a little bit more like this, but you can see how it's very similar in its shape. Roll those shoulders back, open the chest, keep that navel drawn in. Add anything you want if you want to move from side to side, or just enjoy this static posture in boat pose. Take a few more breaths here. One more breath in. Slowly release, hug those knees. Find length in the spine. We'll hug those knees with the left arm rotating through that right shoulder. Lengthen here on an in-breath. Exhale, twist. And bring the right arm around the knees, circling through that left arm. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist. And back to center. So from here, I'm just going to start to roll a little bit. If you can believe it, we're going to move into a downward facing dog. So from here, I'm not saying this is going to be graceful. We're going to roll up and then plant those feet. Get there however you can. Make it fun, make it playful. I've definitely improved my agility through my years of yoga practice, and I'm grateful for that. So from here, once again, we'll just kind of move through this down dog. Feel it. You could draw those knees into the chest once again if you want to feel that prep for crow pose. And as we get set up, if you need to place those blocks, take a moment to place those blocks for support for the head. So I'm just going to start to walk these feet up towards the hands. And as we start to move in here, so we're going to move into this actual full expression of crow. Again, if you don't want to take this today, please feel free to take any other stretches you want before we cool down. But I'll walk you through this. You don't have to take your feet off the earth. You could very gently ease into it. So you might have that block there for support. We're going to plant those hands. And just start to bend at those elbows. So you can direct those eyes of the elbows forward so that when you bend the elbows, they're bending straight back, not out to the side. We need to create a shelf on which to place those knees. So notice if you can bend those elbows straight back. So you might just start here by taking this little push up here in this position. Okay. And we talked about what that felt like in that plank to bring that body over the wrists and put some compression there in the wrists. All right, so now we're going to go up on the toes. Just start to raise up, not taking a full extension into a forward fold, but just notice what that feels like to put a little bit of weight then in the hands. So you can start by just going straight up and down, and then as you fold forward, start to rock over those wrists a little bit more. I'm not taking my feet off the earth yet. And this may be where you start today. So then we're going to plant those hands, bend those elbows, make that shelf, and I'm going to start to draw my knees up. So I'm still keeping my feet on the earth. My feet are close together. I'm not bringing them wide for this setup. Prepping, bringing hands down, bending elbows, and just sneaking those knees close to the armpits. But again, my feet have not left the earth. So this in itself, if you just did this for a few breaths, you would get a core workout, a quad workout, a stretch in the back. This could be all that you do today. I'm feeling it. So plant those knees towards the armpits. And see what this feels like. Again, still haven't pulled my feet off the earth, but just notice what that feels like to put that weight on the wrists. And you might create a little bit of rocking movement here. When we do move into crow, we're not doing this with a lot of momentum because we don't want to go forward. And then from here you might put a little more weight. Now, the key, the absolute key to this posture, absolute key, take that gaze, that drishti, straight ahead. So you see right now that I'm looking down towards the earth. To find my real balance here, I need to take that gaze out. So we often talk about not craning the neck. Try not to crane the neck, but do take that drishti straight out ahead of you. So just practice that. And then maybe you bring one foot up and you point the toe and you lower. Readjust. And take any breaks that you need. We've been here for a little bit, so if you need to step back, do it. Take the other foot up and down. And let's take a little break here. One important bit that I learned from training, which may be common sense, but it bears repeating anyway, is not to try these advanced postures when you're tired. So if you are, my yoga mother always said, if you're trying a headstand 3 times and then stop, because then that 4th time is when you're tired, and that's when injury can happen. It's also a good practice when I've been practicing some more advanced things in capoeira. When I try those heavier poses when I'm tired, that's when I get discouraged and have the potential to fall and get injured. So keep that in mind, little by little every day. All right, we're going to step back up, take that gaze out, and maybe bring one foot up, and maybe the other. And maybe just for a second or two, or a breath, or half a breath. And we can try it again. And then the more that you go, you could take those legs higher, those toes higher. And then if you wanted, you could shoot back into a plank. I am tired here, fully admit. So I didn't have that energy to shoot straight back to that plank. But that is something you can do from crow. And we'll lower down. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, release. And then find that child's pose and just notice your breath here. So let that head feel supported on those hands. Breathe. Before you try any of these advanced postures, whatever they may be, please give yourself a good lead in to them. Whether you're trying a headstand or a handstand, crow, bird of paradise, whatever advanced postures you enjoy, please give yourself time to ease into them. Certainly not trying them cold, but even allowing yourself time to move through some of the pre-asana asanas. Let's stretch out onto our bellies here. Slowly roll onto your back. Bring those knees into the chest. So that crow was a forward fold. We'll still take another forward fold here with those knees in and just rock. Let's drop those knees over to the right, taking our gaze over the left fingertips. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. Back to the center. Take a full body stretch. Breathe in. Exhale, float those hands down to the belly. We'll finish with our bees breath or Brahmari breath. Let's create some good vibrations on this Thursday morning or whatever day you're practicing. In through the nose. Exhale, buzz it out through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Let it go. And take any other movements or postures you want before your final relaxation. Stay there as long as you need, even beyond the close of our practice. Just breathe naturally. And bring your attention back to this space. Finding some gentle movement. Start to gently wiggle fingers and toes. And just stay here for another moment. Notice how you feel. You might begin to pull those knees into the chest. You could rock again from side to side. Eventually make your way to one side of your mat, resting that head in that arm. And when you're ready, press up to a seated position. You can keep the eyes closed. Bring hands to heart and center. Notice your breath. What did you create today? What did you start to move into? What scared you today? Where do you stand to grow? No matter where you are on that journey, I thank you for pausing today to share this practice with me. The light, love, and peace in me recognizes and honors the light, love, and peace in you. Namaste. Thank you all for coming to your mat. Thank you for trying something new and different, if that was what you experienced. And I hope to see you all soon. Next Monday morning, we have our next online class, Gentle Yoga, 9 o'clock on Monday. See you then.